Why is the EcoBoost engine in this 2019 F-150 still pulling clean compression at 187,000 miles, while the truck itself is sitting on my lift waiting to be totaled? Same engine, same configuration, same powertrain that has been the volume seller for almost a decade. The engine is healthy. The 10R80 transmission behind it is not. I have been working on Ford turbocharged engines and the 10R80 transmission for over 20 years. The math I'm about to walk through is the math that decides whether you keep a 5-year-old F-150 or hand the keys back to whoever offers you the most for the body and the wheels. And almost no owner sees that math coming until the transmission shop quotes them the rebuild number. What just changed is that we now have enough field data across the 2017 through 2022 EcoBoost fleet to compare two wear curves on the same truck: the EcoBoost engine wear curve and the 10R80 transmission wear curve. They are not the same shape. They were never supposed to be the same shape. The transmission was supposed to outlast the engine. It is not. And the 5-year cost number that decision produces is the single most important figure any current or future EcoBoost owner needs to know before they commit another dollar to the truck they already paid for. The engine is built for 200,000 miles. The transmission behind it is not. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost Gen 2 introduced in 2017 was rated by Ford for a design life of approximately 200,000 miles with normal maintenance. The 2.7-liter EcoBoost in the same generation has the lowest turbo failure rate of any turbocharged F-150 engine, 8%. Field data from independent inspection shops shows healthy compression numbers on EcoBoost engines well into the 180,000 to 220,000 mile range. The engine, given fluids and a wastegate solenoid every 90,000 miles, runs. Here is where it gets interesting. The 10R80 transmission paired to that engine was given 2 extra gears specifically to push the engine into its narrower fuel economy window on the EPA test cycle. Every additional shift point is a clutch pack engagement. Field replacement and rebuild data on the 10R80 across the 2017 to 2020 fleet shows major intervention required at a median of 118,000 miles. Not 200,000, not 180,000. 118,000. The engine is rated for 200,000. The transmission is doing major service work at 118,000. That is the gap. That is the entire video. I had a 2018 F-150 3.5-liter come in at 121,000 miles with no engine codes, compression within 3% across all 6 cylinders, no oil consumption above factory spec, and a transmission that would no longer engage reverse without a 4-second delay. The CDF clutch drum had degraded to the point of contaminating the valve body. Engine condition: excellent. Transmission rebuild, quote, $7,800. Owner traded the truck for $14,000 below clean retail because the buyer's inspection caught the transmission. $250 fluid service every 50,000 miles versus a $7,800 rebuild that takes the engine and the truck down with it. That is the choice. The wastegate solenoid is a $50 part. Every owner who loses an engine lost the solenoid first. The wastegate solenoid on the 3.5-liter EcoBoost is part number DL3Z-9J559-A. It costs between $45 and $65 over the counter. It regulates the boost pressure your turbochargers produce by controlling the wastegate actuator. When the solenoid begins to fail, and it begins failing well before any code is set, the wastegates do not regulate cleanly. Boost spikes, boost drops, the engine still runs. This is where most people get it completely wrong. The codes that finally set are P0246 and P0299. P0246 is overboost. P0299 is underboost. By the time either of those codes triggers a check engine light, the wastegate has been operating outside its calibrated range for tens of thousands of miles. The turbocharger has been running without consistent pressure regulation. The compressor wheel has been spinning past its design RPM during the overboost moments. The turbo shaft bearings have been heat cycled past their design envelope. The wastegate solenoid is a $50 part. The single turbo it kills costs $2,000 to $3,000 installed. The pair, when one taking out the other becomes the cascade, costs $4,500 to $6,000. I had a customer with a 2018 F-150 3.5-liter at 94,000 miles complaining about an intermittent hesitation under heavy load. No codes. He had been to 2 shops who told him there was nothing to find. I pulled the wastegate solenoid and tested it. Sticking on the open command, intermittent on the close. He had been driving on a failing solenoid for at least 25,000 miles. Both turbos showed shaft play. Final repair, $5,600. The $50 solenoid would have been a 1-hour job at 70,000 miles. $50 wastegate solenoid replacement at 70,000 miles versus $5,600 in turbocharger damage at 94,000. That is the choice. CSP 21N03 expired. January 1st, 2023. You are paying full price. Ford acknowledged the 3.5-liter EcoBoost Gen 2 cam phaser defect through Customer Satisfaction Program 21N03. The program covered cam phaser replacement on 2017 through 2020 trucks up to 70,000 miles. That coverage expired January 1st, 2023. Every 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2023.5-liter EcoBoost still on the road is now out of program coverage on the phaser issue Ford knew about. And it gets worse. The cold start rattle that signals phaser failure is the same rattle that signals VCT solenoid failure. The solenoids cost $200 to $300 to replace, and they fail first. The phasers cost $5,500 to $6,200, and they fail second. Owners who hear the rattle at 75,000 miles and replace the solenoids reset the clock. Owners who ignore the rattle for 6 months because it goes away after 30 seconds of warm-up lose the phasers. The 6-month window between hearing the rattle and replacing the solenoids is the window where the math changes by $5,000. A 2019 F150 3.5-liter came in at 87,000 miles with P164C codes and a cold start clatter that had been present since 72,000 miles. The owner had been reassured by a chain shop and a friend that the rattle was normal for these engines. By the time he brought it to me, both phasers were gone, the timing chain guides had cracked, and the chains showed wear consistent with debris in the oil. Full timing kit, both phasers, all guides, chains, tensioners, gaskets, $6,200. $250 VCT solenoid replacement at 75,000 miles versus $6,200 full timing job at 87,000. That is the choice. If you are still watching, you already know more about what kills the EcoBoost on a 5-year ownership horizon than most owners ever will. The next part is the part that changes whether you keep this truck or trade it, because the 5-year cost math depends on whether the transmission gives out before the engine does, and most owners are looking at the wrong line on the spreadsheet. The 5-year repair math nobody runs before they buy. Take a 2019 F150 3.5-liter purchased used at 60,000 miles for $32,000 with a planned 5-year ownership at 18,000 miles per year. The truck reaches 150,000 miles at year 5. Here is the spread of probable major repairs across that window based on field data from the 2017 to 2020 fleet. VCT solenoids at 80,000 miles, $250. Wastegate solenoid at 85,000 miles, $60. Coolant T-fitting O-rings at 95,000 miles on the 5.0, less relevant here, but the principle applies. Spark plugs and coils at 100,000 miles, $700. Turbocharger replacement, if the wastegate was ignored, between $0 and $3,000 depending on whether the solenoid was caught in time. Cam phaser replacement, if the VCT solenoids were ignored, between $0 and $6,200. Front differential service, $250. Transfer case service, $200. Now the transmission line. The 10R80 fluid and filter service at 60,000 and again at 110,000 miles, $500 total. If the fluid service is skipped, which is what Ford's lifetime fill claim recommends. Major transmission intervention at a median of 118,000 miles, $7,800. CDF clutch drum repair on 2017 through early 2020 trucks with the original drum design, if the fluid was not flagged in time, $8,200. Run the math with the maintenance done correctly. Total 5-year repair spend, $1,960. The truck reaches 150,000 miles with a healthy engine and a healthy transmission. Resale at $150,000, approximately $19,000 in the 2026 used market. Run the math with Ford's published guidance followed exactly. No transmission fluid service, no VCT solenoid replacement before codes, no wastegate solenoid replacement before codes. Total 5-year repair spend, conservatively, $13,200. Resale at $150,000 with documented transmission rebuild and turbo replacement, approximately $11,000. And that is generous. The math gap is $11,240 over 5 years on the same truck, driven the same way, with the same engine, with the same parts. The difference is whether you treated the transmission as a serviceable component and whether you replaced the $50 and $250 parts before they killed the $3,000 and $6,200 parts. The 10-speed killed the EcoBoost on the second math. The engine never had a chance. $2,000 in preventive service across 5 years versus $13,200 in reactive repairs and resale loss. That is the choice. The one setting that moves the whole curve. Eco mode is on by default. It was on when the truck left the factory because the EPA test was run with it on. It produces 340 shift events per 10 miles in city commute traffic versus 190 with Eco disabled. Every shift event is a clutch pack engagement. Every engagement is wear. Stay with me, because the fuel economy benefit of Eco mode in real driving is a fraction of a percent. Less than half a mile per gallon in matched testing. The transmission wear it produces is not a fraction. It is direct, accumulated, and silent until the unit fails. But don't stop there, because turning Eco mode off only matters if you also turn the right setting on. Tow/haul mode does the inverse work. It holds gears rationally, engages decisively, and prevents the constant hunting that compromises the clutch packs. Ford named the mode for its marketing case. It should have been called Clutch Pack Protection Mode. Engaging it for commute traffic, not just trailers, is the single highest leverage decision an EcoBoost owner can make for the transmission. I had a customer with a 2020 F150 2.7-liter at 76,000 miles, with soft 3 to 4 shifts and an occasional shudder under light throttle. He commuted 19 miles each way with Eco enabled every day. We turned Eco off and engaged tow/haul for the commute. The shudder reduced inside 1,200 miles. Adaptive tables relearned. The transmission was being asked to shift too often. Cost of the fix, $0. $0 to press one button off and one button on versus $7,800 in transmission rebuild costs when the constant cycling overwhelms the clutch packs at 118,000 miles. That is the choice. The 10-speed did not kill the engine. It killed the truck around it. The compression in the EcoBoost in the 2019 3.5-liter sitting in my shop is still within factory spec at 187,000 miles. The wastegate solenoid was replaced at 84,000. The VCT solenoids were replaced at 79,000. The transmission fluid was serviced at 55,000 and again at 105,000. The CDF clutch drum was the early design. By 142,000, the drum had degraded past compensation. The transmission rebuild quote came in at $8,400 on a truck whose body and engine were worth roughly $17,000. The owner is deciding whether to spend half the value of the truck to save the half he cannot replace. The engine is not the problem. The engine never was the problem. The 10-speed transmission was calibrated to win a test cycle and a spec sheet, and the calibration choices that produce those wins are paid for inside the transmission at exactly the mileage point. The engine is just hitting its second life. Replace the $50 solenoids. Replace the $250 VCT solenoids. Service the transmission fluid at 50,000 and 100,000 miles. Turn Eco mode off. Engage tow/haul for commute traffic. Enable the DIC transmission temperature display. The engine will outlast the chassis. The transmission will outlast the engine. The 5-year math becomes the math you wanted. The 2017 through 2020 trucks with the original CDF clutch drum have a single shift behavior that shows up at 80,000 to 90,000 miles, long before any code or warning, and it is the signal that you have between 15,000 and 25,000 miles to act before the rebuild becomes the only option. That signal, and the test that confirms it, is the next video.